Welcome back to the Red Camo Gaming channel. In today's video, I'm going to rebuild the Tennessee Titans and try to send them to the Super Bowl. With that, let's get started. On the offensive side of the ball, I'll be using the West Coast Zone Run with Tennessee Mike Vrabel playbook. And on the defensive side of the ball, I'll be using the 3-4 under scheme along with the Tennessee Mike Vrabel playbook. With the schemes lined up with the playbooks, let's turn our attention to contract negotiations. We signed Derrick Henry to a 4-year contract worth $56 million. I've also signed Sean Murphy-Bunting to a 3-year deal worth $26,000. I also accepted Caleb Farley's 5th-year option worth $17 million. I've signed Jacob Gibbons for a 4-year deal worth $20 million. I've signed Kayvon Wallace as well for a 3-year deal worth $7.5 million. And lastly, I've just signed Danico Audrey for a 1-year contract worth $12 million. And everyone else will walk into free agency. To fill in some empty roster spots, I signed a middle linebacker, 1-year deal $10 million. Kicker, 1-year deal worth $5 million. Another middle linebacker, 1-year deal worth $5 million. A defensive tackle, 2-year deal worth $12 million. A defensive end, 1-year deal $10 million. A fullback, 1-year deal $3 million. And a center, 1-year deal $5 million. Okay, coming out with the draft, with our first round pick, we took a offensive tackle. It's a 76 overall. And with our second round pick, we got a defensive tackle who's a 75 overall. Then we also got a safety, tight end, running back, and an outside linebacker to fill in holes in our lineup. So going into year one, we have quarterback Will Levis, Derrick Henry as our running back, Hopkins and Burks as our wide receiver 1 and 2. Then from the left to right, we got Fleming, Soronsky, Jones, Brunskill, and Fashuna on our offensive line. Then we got Okawa on for tight end. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Simmons, Tart, and Autry. For cornerbacks, we have McCreary and Murphy-Bunting. For linebackers, from left to right, we have Landry, Levante David, Kendricks, and Key. And then free safety, we have Molden, and our strong safety is Hooker. At the midseason mark, the Tennessee Titans are 2-4. Let's see if they can turn their season around and earn a playoff berth. At the end of the season, the Tennessee Titans went 8-9, missing the playoffs. After a disappointing season, let's try to find a solution to get the team into a position to win the Super Bowl. Resigning players, we're going to accept Traylon Burks' 5th-year option. We're going to offer Fairbairn a 2-year deal worth $11 million, and he's back with us. We're going to offer CJ Ham a 1-year deal worth $4 million, and he's back with us. And everyone else will go to free agency. So I'm bringing in a right outside linebacker worth $25 million for over 4 years, a defensive end for $10 million over 1 year, a middle linebacker 3 years, $11 mil, another middle linebacker 2 years, $6 mil, a left guard 3 mil for 1 year, and then a right guard for 1 year with 3 mil. Tennessee's first round pick selected a offensive tackle with a 75 overall. Second round pick, a defensive end, 70 overall. And with the third round pick, a center, 72 overall. Also got a diamond in the rough with a wide receiver, 72 overall in the 4th round with a hidden dev. And also a right end to end out our picks for the draft this year. Okay, so for year 2, we have Will Levis still at quarterback, Derrick Henry running back 1, we got Burks, and then our rookie wide receiver McKinney, receiver 1 and 2. Then we got on our left tackle Fashuna, Soronsky, Kendrick, Howard, and Samuels, and then our tight end Okwawa. Then we have Hubert, Taylor, Simmons for defensive line. Then we have McCreary and Murphy-Bunting as cornerback 1 and 2. from left to right on our linebackers, we have Landry, Gibbons, Wilson, Collins. Then free safety we have Wallace, and strong safety we have Hooker. It's season year 2, and we are at the bottom of the AFC South at 1-6. Let's see if we can turn around and get to the postseason. Andre Dillard's contract will clear $9.5 million in cap space. Let's see if we can trade him away. So I'm going to be trading offensive tackle Dillard to the Commanders for safety Martin, and they'll also be receiving 4 6th round picks and a 7th round pick. So at the end of season 2, we did end up turning around, but we did not make the playoffs again, ending our record with another 8-9 season. Let's run it back one more time. I'm going to accept Skoronski's 5th year option to keep him on the team for a total of $10 million for the 1 year. I'm going to offer Hooker a 3-year deal worth $27.6 million, and he accepts. I'm going to offer McCreary a 4-year deal worth close to $40 million, and he signs. I'm going to offer Ham a 1-year $4 million contract, and he accepts. And the other 17 players will be walking their way into free agency. So to fill in some roster spots, I signed wide receiver Lockett to a 1-year $7 million deal, a middle linebacker in Holcomb for a 3-year deal worth $23 million, wide receiver Peoples Jones on a 2-year deal worth $13 million. I re-signed tight end Okawoa to a 3-year deal worth $20 million. Left end, I re-signed him as well, Hubert, for 1 year $9 million. Right guard, I signed him for a 2-year $5 million. And I signed Geno Smith at quarterback just for backup for 1 year for $5 million. So we traded up in the draft and we got our franchise quarterback in Ty Gordon. He's a 78 overall. Then we also drafted a cornerback in the 1st round as well. He's a 77 overall. Then we also drafted a wide receiver and a left outside linebacker to fill in some holes that we had. Alright, for year 3, we have our new quarterback in Gordon. We still have Derrick Henry signed. We added Lockett, and we have our wide receiver in McKinney. Offensive line hasn't changed. Tight end hasn't changed. Defensive line hasn't changed besides their backups. Defense hasn't changed except for when we traded for free safety Martin last season, but everyone else is the same. Alright, so year 3 at midway point, we are 4-3 and we are leading the AFC South. Let's see if we can keep up the good work and make it to the playoffs. We have made it to the playoffs in year 3 of our rebuild. We went 9-8, basically tied with the Colts and the Jaguars, but we won our division. We'll be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. They have the upper hand, but let's see if we can beat them. We end up losing 21-10. It's going to be a heartbreaker. First postseason as a coach. Let's run it back and see if we can make the playoffs one more time. I'm going to accept the option on my offensive tackle. Close to a $20 million deal for 1 year. Gonna offer Spears a 4-year, $23.6 million contract, and he resigns. Gonna offer Burks a 2-year extension with $9.2 million, and he resigns. Gonna offer Martin a 4-year contract worth $15.6 million, and he resigns. And the other 20 players are gonna walk into free agency. Alright, so big free agency, we signed a punter and a kicker. Defensive tackle, we signed 1 year, $13 million. Free safety, we signed 1 year, $4 million. Cornerback, we signed 2 year, $7 million. Middle linebacker, 5-year, worth a whopping $30 million. Fullback, we signed for a whopping $22 million for over 5 years. Left outside linebacker, 5 years, $18 million. quarterback, 2 years, 17 mil. A center for 5 years, 24 mil. And a right guard for 3 years, totaling close to 8 mil. Okay, in this draft we traded up again and got the best tight end in the class in Sam Long. He's a 78 overall. And then we drafted a right tackle, running back, and a left guard to fill in roster spots. Okay, going into our last year, we have Ty Gordon at quarterback. Spears gets his opportunity as Derrick Henry retires. We're actually going to move McKinney up to receiver number 1 with Burks receiver number 2. Offensive line has not changed at all. Then our rookie tight end is actually the top 3 player of the draft. We drafted him at number 8. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Woodley, who was drafted a few years ago. He's finally getting the start. Taylor is going to be moved up to defensive tackle 1. Simons has been here. McCurry actually got star depth tree. And then our rookie from last year, Harris, is quarterback number 2. We have Martin at free safety and Hooker at strong safety. And our middle line, or our linebackers, hasn't changed except for the addition of Jollier. Well, we're still in it, but we are 3-4 at the midseason. Let's hopefully they turn it around. Missed the playoff by 1 game. Let's sim one more year and see if we can get this thing done. I'm accepting the option on Barry Samuel's 5th year option, totaling $15.5 million per the year. I'm going to offer Soronsky a 5-year, close to $100 million. He resigns. I'm going to offer Simmons a 2-year deal worth $52.6 million, and he accepts. I'm going to offer Taylor a 5-year deal worth $77 million, and he accepts. I'm going to sign Holker to a 3-year deal worth $8.1 million, and he accepts. The other 15 players can walk into free agency. Alright, let's go big or go home. So we signed an 84 overall wide receiver, 84 overall kicker, 80 overall middle linebacker, left end, corner, free safety, defensive tackle, running back, quarterback, and a left tackle, just to fill in roster spots since we have no high draft picks. Okay, for the final year of our rebuild, we got our superstar quarterback, our star running back, our receiver 1 and 2, Wilson and McKinney. Offensive line has been the same for the past 3-ish years. Sam Long was last year's rookie. He's an X Factor. On the defensive side of the ball, Taylor's one of our rookies that we drafted a couple seasons ago. Simon's been here. McCreary's been here. Harris. We have Martin and Bullard. We're going to move Bullard up. Trotter we signed this offseason in free agency. And Hooker, he has gone down to normal dev. Okay, at the mid-season mark of the 5th year, we are in 3rd place of the AFC South. Hopefully we can pick it up and make it in the playoffs. I'll see you there. Well, they didn't do it. They finished 6-11, and they did not make the playoffs. Well, this is a final look at the 84 overall Tennessee Titans. We couldn't pull off a Super Bowl. We did make it to the playoffs, but lost in the first round against the Raiders. And yep, 1 X Factor, 1 superstar, and a whole bunch of stars on the team. It's getting decently built, just couldn't make it happen. If you enjoyed this rebuild and would like to see more, hit the like button and the notification button so you don't miss out. If you'd like to support the channel, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a good day.